The vast emptiness of space stretched before the medical vessel, healing horizon like an infinite canvas of darkness. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge, his hands clasped behind his back, watching the holographic displays that showed their current mission trajectory. Wounded refugees from 3 different star systems were resting in the medical bays below, each with a story of survival etched into their weary faces. Yeon Kim, the navigation specialist, monitored the ship's systems with practiced precision. Her fingers danced across the control panels, checking and rechecking their course. The ship hummed with a quiet efficiency, its medical equipment carefully maintained and ready for any emergency. No one saw the first signs of trouble until the ship's advanced sensor arrays began to ping with unusual energy readings. At first, it was just a subtle vibration, a whisper of something massive approaching from the outer edges of their sensor range. "Captain," Jan called out, her voice calm but urgent. "We have multiple large energy signatures approaching from Sector 7 Gamma." J. Park moved closer to the display, his eyes narrowing. The incoming signatures were unlike anything in their standard database. They moved with a deliberate, predatory precision that sent a chill down his spine. Suddenly, the starfield around them transformed. What had been empty space erupted with massive black vessels, their hulls absorbing light, making them look like moving shadows against the stars. The Zharik battlecruisers materialized with shocking speed, their weapon systems already charging. "Battle stations," Jay commanded, his voice cutting through the sudden tension on the bridge. Sung Choi, the chief medical officer, rushed to secure the patients. Dozens of critically wounded individuals from various species were strapped into medical containment units, their lives now dependent on the ship's survival. The first volley of energy weapons struck the healing horizon with devastating precision. The ship's shields flared brilliant blue, absorbing the initial impact but showing signs of rapid degradation. This was no random attack. The Zharik knew exactly what they were targeting. "They're specifically targeting our medical systems," Wuhan, the AI systems director, reported. His fingers moved across holographic interfaces, rerouting power and attempting to distribute the energy load. "They want to disable our ability to treat patients." Jay understood the strategy immediately. By destroying a medical vessel, the attackers would create a psychological weapon more powerful than any conventional warfare. Each patient represented hope for entire populations. Their destruction would be a message of terror. The ship rocked again. Warning alarms began to sound, their sharp electronic voices cutting through the controlled chaos of the bridge. Jan's hands moved with lightning speed, initiating emergency evasive protocols that would have impressed even the most seasoned military pilots. "Prepare emergency data transmission," Jay ordered. "We need to alert the nearest human outpost about this attack." But something else was happening. Deep within the ship's complex computer systems, an ancient protocol was beginning to awaken. Lines of code that had been dormant for centuries started to pulse with unexpected life, triggered by the extreme circumstances of the attack. No one on the bridge noticed the subtle changes happening in the background systems. Their focus was entirely on survival, on protecting the vulnerable patients, on understanding the sudden and brutal nature of this assault. The Zharik battlecruisers continued their relentless attack, each strike designed to methodically break down the medical vessel's defenses. They moved with a cold, calculated precision, like surgeons removing what they considered an unnecessary element from the galactic ecosystem. Captain J. Park knew they had limited options. A medical ship was not designed for combat. Their shields were already showing critical failure, and their defensive capabilities were minimal. Yet something inside him refused to accept defeat. As another massive energy blast approached, something unexpected began to happen. A faint signal buried deep within the ship's ancient memory banks started to decrypt itself. A message from humanity's past that would change everything. The battle was just beginning, and no one on the healing horizon knew the extraordinary events that were about to unfold. As the healing horizon shuddered under repeated attacks, Yeon Kim noticed something strange happening on her navigation console. A series of random data streams began to pulse beneath the emergency system alerts, creating a pattern that seemed almost deliberate. The ship's computer systems were behaving oddly. Fragments of encrypted code danced across secondary screens, creating a complex digital puzzle that seemed to be solving itself. Wu Han, the AI systems director, initially dismissed it as a system glitch caused by the battle damage. "Captain," Yan called out, her voice tinged with curiosity. "Something's happening with our navigation database." J. Park approached the console, watching as lines of ancient code began to decrypt themselves. The encryption was unlike anything in current technological standards. It was multi-layered, complex, and seemed to be responding to the current threat in real time. The encrypted signal originated from what appeared to be a dormant system file, buried so deep in the ship's memory banks that it would normally have taken months, if not years, to even detect its existence. But under the extreme stress of battle, the file was activating itself. Numbers began to appear. Coordinates, star system references, astronomical data that seemed to be from a period long before current space exploration technology. Each line of code carried a complexity that suggested it was designed by someone, or something, with extraordinary technological understanding. Wuhan's fingers moved quickly across the interfaces, trying to trace the origin of these mysterious data streams. "This isn't a standard encryption," he muttered. "This looks like it was designed to remain hidden until a very specific set of circumstances occurred." The coordinates gradually took shape on the holographic display. They pointed to a location deep in an uncharted region of space, far from any known human or alien settlement. Something about the precise mathematical calculations suggested this was not a random data generation. Outside, the Zharik battlecruisers continued their relentless assault. Energy weapons carved brilliant patterns against the ship's failing shields, each blast bringing the healing horizon closer to destruction. But inside, a different battle was happening. A digital confrontation that nobody yet understood. "The coordinates," Yan whispered. "They're connected to something massive." Sung Choi, who had momentarily stepped onto the bridge from the medical bay, looked over their shoulders. His medical training had taught him to recognize patterns, and what he saw in these coordinates was nothing short of extraordinary. The encrypted file seemed to be a complex navigation protocol, designed to activate only under specific combat conditions. It carried markers that suggested it was created during humanity's earliest interstellar expansion, a time of great technological innovation and preparation. "This looks like a defensive contingency," J. Park said, understanding, dawning in his eyes. Something our ancestors prepared for exactly this kind of scenario. The ship's computer began to correlate the mysterious coordinates with ancient star charts. Slowly, a picture began to emerge. A hidden solar system, completely masked from standard navigation systems containing something of immense significance. Wuhan's hands were a blur across the interfaces. "The encryption is breaking down. It's like the file wants to be discovered." His voice carried a mix of professional excitement and genuine wonder. Another massive energy blast rocked the ship. Alarms screamed. But on the navigation console, something remarkable was happening. The encrypted coordinates were now fully visible, revealing a location that had been waiting, hidden, for generations. A backup plan, a last resort defensive mechanism, something that humanity had prepared centuries ago, hoping it would never need to be used. The healing horizon had just become the key to unlocking a secret that could change everything about humanity's understanding of its own history and potential for survival. And the Zharik, in their brutal assault, had no idea what they were about to unleash. The hidden solar system materialized slowly on the ship's long-range scanners. At first, it looked like nothing, more than a cluster of dense asteroids. But as the healing horizon approached, something extraordinary began to reveal itself. Massive structures emerged from behind planetary shadows. They were ships, but not like any modern vessels humanity had constructed. These were ancient behemoths, each easily 10 times the size of current battlecruisers. Their metallic hulls carried intricate design patterns that seemed to blend technology and art in ways no current engineer could understand. Sung Choi was the first to notice the quantum energy signatures pulsing beneath the dormant exteriors. "These aren't just ships," he whispered. These are technological masterpieces. Wuhan's computer systems began scanning the fleet. Each vessel carried complex defensive systems that seemed impossible by current technological standards. They were designed not just for combat, but for total strategic dominance. Yan Kim calculated their approach carefully. The navigation was tricky. One wrong move could trigger unknown defensive protocols. The ships looked like they were sleeping, waiting for something specific to awaken them. Captain J. Park studied the holographic displays with intense concentration. These ships represented humanity's ultimate backup plan, a fleet constructed during a period of global unity and technological breakthrough that most current historians believed was just a myth. The first ship they approached was nearly 3 kilometers long. Its hull was made from an unknown metallic compound that seemed to absorb and redirect energy. Scanning systems showed multiple weapon systems that could potentially destroy entire planetary systems with a single strike. How long have these been waiting? Jay wondered aloud. Quantum drives hummed softly within the ancient vessels. Not dead, not inactive, just waiting, preserved by technologies so advanced they defied current understanding. Wuhan discovered something even more remarkable. Each ship had an adaptive learning system integrated into its core programming. They weren't just weapons. They were intelligent defensive mechanisms that could analyze and respond to threats in milliseconds. The medical ship's computer began the complex process of communication. Encrypted handshake protocols developed centuries ago started connecting with the dormant fleet systems. It was like speaking a long-forgotten language that was somehow still perfectly understood. One by one, the massive ships began to show signs of awakening. Soft lights flickered across their hulls. Internal systems started cycling, quantum reactors building energy with smooth, controlled precision. Sung Choi reviewed the technical readouts in disbelief. These ships carried medical bays more advanced than anything currently in use. They weren't just weapons of war. They were complete survival platforms designed to preserve and protect humanity in any scenario. Outside, the distant battle with the Zharik battlecruisers continued. But here, in this hidden solar system, something much more significant was happening. Humanity's ultimate insurance policy was preparing to activate. Jan's hands moved carefully across the navigation systems. Each connection revealed more layers of technological complexity. These ships had been prepared by minds that understood warfare, survival, and technological evolution in ways current civilizations could barely comprehend. Captain J. Park realized they were witnessing something historic. This wasn't just a defensive fleet. This was proof that humanity's ancestors had prepared for scenarios far beyond simple planetary defense. The first ship fully activated with a low, powerful hum that seemed to resonate through space itself. Weapon systems came online. Defensive, shields materialized like liquid metal around its massive hull. Wuhan's computer systems were overwhelmed with incoming data. These ships, he said quietly, they're not just prepared for war. They're prepared to ensure human survival under any circumstances. As more ships began to awaken, it became clear that this was more than a fleet. This was humanity's ultimate statement, a technological testament that said, quite simply, we will survive. The forgotten fleet was ready, and nothing in the galaxy was prepared for what was about to be unleashed. The hidden fleet surged into motion with a precision that defied imagination. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge of the lead vessel, watching as quantum drives powered up, creating ripples of energy that seemed to bend space itself. Yan Kim managed the navigation systems, her fingers moving with surgical accuracy. The ancient ships responded to her commands like living entities, each movement calculated and deliberate. The Zharik battlecruisers, still pursuing the healing horizon, had no idea what was about to happen. The first strike came without warning. A massive vessel, nearly 3 kilometers long, materialized directly between the Zharik attack group and their medical ship target. Its weapon systems were unlike anything in current galactic warfare. Quantum pulse cannons that could disassemble, molecular structures with terrifying efficiency. Wuhan's computer systems tracked the battle in real time. Their defensive technologies are adapting faster than the Zharik can respond, he reported. a hint of excitement in his voice. The first Jarek cruiser simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, a massive obsidian structure of technological might, and the next, nothing. Not even debris remained. The quantum weapons had completely dismantled the ship at its most fundamental level. Sung Choi, despite being a medical officer, watched the tactical displays with professional interest. These ships were more than weapons. They were preservation mechanisms designed to protect humanity at all costs. 3 more Jarek battlecruisers attempted to regroup and counterattack. Their advanced weapon systems, which had seemed so terrifying moments ago, now looked like primitive technology against the ancient human fleet. Energy fields surrounded the human vessels, adaptive shields that absorbed and redirected incoming attacks. Where Jarek weapons struck, they found nothing but redirected energy that was immediately turned back against them. J. Park's voice remained calm. "Target their command vessels," he instructed. Each word was a precise command that rippled through the fleet's intelligent communication network. The counteroffensive was not just about destruction, it was a calculated demonstration of technological superiority. Each movement, each weapon strike seemed designed to send a clear message. Humanity was not just another species to be conquered. Quantum drives allowed the ships to move in ways that defied traditional understanding of space and movement. They could appear, strike, and disappear faster than most sensor systems could track. The Jarek found themselves fighting an enemy they couldn't even comprehend. One by one, the Jarek fleet was systematically dismantled. Not out of rage or vengeance, but with the same clinical precision a surgeon might use during a delicate operation. Jan detected something interesting in the battle's data streams. The ships were not just fighting, they were learning. Each engagement provided new information, new strategies, constantly improving their defensive and offensive capabilities. By the time 30 minutes had passed, the entire Jarek attack group had been completely neutralized. No debris, no survivors. Just empty space where a supposedly superior alien fleet had once existed. Wuhan Systems began compiling a comprehensive battle report. The data suggested that these ships could have neutralized the entire Jarek military infrastructure if given the full command. "We're not just defending," J. Park said quietly. "We're sending a message." The medical ship that had started this entire journey now sat protected at the center of this incredible fleet. What had begun as a humanitarian mission had become something much larger, a reminder of humanity's potential and preparedness. As the last quantum energy pulse faded, the ancient ships maintained their defensive formation. They were waiting, ready, prepared to protect humanity against any future threat. The galaxy had just learned a critical lesson. Humanity was not to be underestimated. The aftermath of the battle was unlike anything the galactic communication networks had ever witnessed. Diplomatic channels buzzed with urgent transmissions trying to understand what had just happened. Captain J. Park stood on the bridge of the lead vessel, watching as holographic displays tracked the rapid spread of information. The medical ship Healing Horizon remained at the center of the ancient fleet, a symbol of humanity's unexpected power. Yeon Kim managed the communication systems, routing and filtering incoming messages from various species and star systems. The data streams revealed a mix of fear, confusion, and a growing respect for human technological capabilities. Wuhan's computer systems were working overtime, analyzing the battle's implications. The quantum technology demonstrated by the ancient fleet suggested that humanity had been preparing for potential threats for centuries, a fact that was now brutally clear to every watching civilization. The first official diplomatic response came from the Galactic Council, a loose confederation of advanced species that typically maintained neutrality in interstellar conflicts. Their message was carefully worded, requesting an immediate explanation for the unprecedented display of technological superiority. Sung Choi, still wearing his medical uniform, helped coordinate the initial response. The message was clear but measured. Humanity sought peaceful coexistence but would defend itself with absolute certainty if threatened. The ancient fleet remained in formation, their quantum drives humming softly, a constant reminder of their readiness Each ship carried not just weapons but complete infrastructure for human survival. Medical facilities, research laboratories, agricultural systems. They were complete ecological platforms. Diplomatic channels from multiple star systems began requesting communication. Some sought to understand the technology. Others wanted to establish non-aggression treaties. A few were simply trying to assess the potential threat. J. Park understood the delicate balance required. This wasn't about showing off power, but demonstrating that humanity would not be an easy target. The fleet's existence was both a shield and a message. Jan tracked the communication patterns. The initial fear was gradually transforming into a complex mix of respect and caution. Species that had previously considered humans as a minor technological civilization were rapidly reassessing their understanding. The Jarik territories, once considered a significant military power, were now in complete disarray. Their communication networks showed internal collapse, with various factions blaming each other for the devastating defeat. Wuhan's systems revealed something even more interesting. The ancient fleet's quantum communication networks were passively collecting information, creating a comprehensive database of galactic political and technological developments. "We're not just defending," Jay observed. "We're learning." The medical ship that had triggered this entire sequence of events became a symbol of humanity's unexpected depth. What had started as a humanitarian mission had revealed an entire hidden layer of human technological preparation. Diplomatic delegations from various star systems began requesting meetings. They wanted to understand the technology, the strategy, the unexpected depth of human technological development. Sung Choi helped draft the initial responses. The message was consistent. Humanity sought peaceful coexistence, but would defend itself with absolute certainty if threatened. Each communication was carefully balanced, showing strength without aggression. The ancient fleet remained in formation, their massive structures a constant reminder of humanity's potential. They were more than weapons. They were a statement of survival, of preparation, of a species that had learned from its past and prepared for its future. Jan tracked the evolving communication patterns. The initial fear was transforming into a complex diplomatic dance. Species were rapidly recalculating their understanding of human potential. By the end of the first standard galactic week, something fundamental had changed. Humanity was no longer seen as a young, developing species. They were now recognized as a potential major power, one with depth, preparation, and an unexpected technological capability. The healing horizon remained at the center of the fleet, a perfect symbol of humanity's true nature, not just a species of warriors, but a civilization that could heal and protect, that could demonstrate strength without unnecessary aggression. The restoration was complete, not just of human confidence, but of the galactic understanding of what humanity truly represented.